What's going on, guys? It's your boy Virgos here, and today we're back again with another YouTube video. Today I'm gonna be showing you my version of a Hailey build, and before we get into that, yeah, enjoy the rest of the kill clip. Alright, let's start with the modules that I have been using for this build. So as for the sub module, you can use whatever you want as long as it's maxed out, because you want that extra 10 module capacity right here. But for personal preference, I like using mid-air maneuvering because this module makes it easier for me to reposition myself. So the next set of modules that you're going to be using for this build is the 4 modules that will be responsible for increasing your critical hit damage and critical hit rate. So very basic, you're going to be using front lines and emergency measures for that critical hit rate and critical hit damage. Next up will be skill concentration for an extra critical hit damage as well, and skill insight. And the only reason that I haven't had this maxed out yet is because I don't have enough module capacity yet. But even at enhancement level 6, whenever you have your third skill, Cold Fury, whenever it is at max stacks at 16 stacks, you will be having 100% crit rate. So yeah, let me show you that real quick. So you're gonna want to pop your V and press I and press W. See how your critical skill critical hit rate ramps up, and it maxes out at 100%. And next up, you're gonna want to stack as much as raw skill power that you can get. So we're gonna be using Chill Specialist and this module. I don't know how to read it, but I think it's Glacial Syncytium. The Chill Specialist gives you 81.2% chill skill power, and this, I'm just gonna call it the Glacial module, will give you an extra 10.2 skill power. And the last one for the skill power modules will be the Spear and Shield. It's a nice module as well because it gives you like a good amount of defense and that extra 8.1% skill power. And also there's a reason why I'm not using skill simplification on this build. It's because Hailey's 4th skill, Zenith, it already has an insane amount of skill power modifier, and her 2nd skill as well. Skill power modifier is it's really insane. So adding more skill power modifier will give you an added DPS. I mean, added DPS is still good, but like you're better off using that extra module slots here. Like using you're better off using that module slot here for something else. Anyways, I'm gonna show it to you real quick. So we're gonna pop your V and wait for it to reach max stacks. There we go. So this damage test includes the skill simplification. So that's 12.6 million. And let us go ahead and take off the skill simplification module and do another damage test. So there you go. 12.5 million. The difference is only 100k. So yeah, using any modules that increases your skill power modifier is useless. And next up, we're gonna be using increase HP and HP amplification so that we can have that nice chunk amount of HP, so you don't get one-shotted by Gluttony or any other group play bosses, because what good is your DPS when you're dead, right? And the last module that you want is Dangerous Ambush. It's pretty self-explanatory. It gives you 24.9% skill power when the boss is not targeting you, or it scales all the way up to 49.8% when the boss is down. I'm gonna show it to you real quick, the damage difference when the Dangerous Ambush is in effect. So in this part, I'm gonna be showing you the difference difference in damage when the dangerous ambush module is in effect and when it's not. And that's 5.7 million without, and what the fuck, 7 point something million. I reckon it was 7.9 million. That's how insane this module is. So these are all the modules that I've been using for my Hailey build. And if you are wondering why I am not using maximize conservation for that extra skill cost reduction, is because we actually have two neat perks in the inversion reinforcement. It's the selective neurosimulation, which recovers some of your MP every 60 seconds, and the arcade peacemaker. So for this one, whenever we have a movement speed of 300 or less, it decreases our skill cost by 20%. Now, whenever we use this Hailey's V skill, the Cold Fury skill, our movement speed decreases all the way down to 240, I think. It's 240. So whenever we use our V skill, it gets to and whenever it reduces our movement speed, we get that extra 20% skill reduction from the arcade peacemaker. And that is the reason why we don't use maximize conservation for this build. And also that's the reason why we have an extra increase HP module right here, so that we can have more survivability. All right, next up, we're going to be talking about external component. And the external components that we're going to be using for this build is this Slayer set. And like I said before, you want as much skill power that you can get for this build, because her skills have insane amount of skill power modifier, right? And as for the substats, so you want MP recovery out of combat and max HP for the auxiliary power, max MP and MP recovery in combat for the Slayer sensor. And for the Slayer memory, you want defense and MP recovery modifier. So the MP recovery modifier will scale up the amount of MP that you recover through MP recovery in combat, and also the MP recovery out of combat, and the blue MP consumables that the roly-polies drop during boss fights. And as for the Slayer processor, you can roll with whatever substance you want here. Next up, I'm going to be showing you how quick our MP recovery is because of those substats that we have in the external components. If you go out of V and say you go out of combat, wait for a few seconds, then your MP goes back up real quick. So if you can get like yellow rolls on this substats, that would be the best for this build. But yeah, RNG hasn't been good to me, and I've been trying to hunt them down for 2 days and haven't gotten yet. So the next part of this build is our weapon of choice. And there's been a lot of debate going on whether to use Piercing Light or whether to use Afterglow Sword. But before we get into that, I want to show you how Hailey's Z skill actually works. So whenever you fire your Z skill, you're actually doing two types of damage. The 6 million something is your skill damage, and your 3.4 million, that's your Piercing Light damage. The two types of damage, one skill damage and one weapon damage. Alright, so I'm gonna show you that real quick. Like I said before, skill damage doesn't change regardless of the weapon that you're using. Since I don't have the Afterglow Frozen Singularity Reactor, I'm gonna be using a purple reactor for both sniper rifle weapon. And yeah, this is the damage for the Afterglow. That's 5.289. And then we're gonna change to Piercing Light. That's also 5.289. We're seeing that. So next up, we are going to be comparing the weapon damage between the Piercing Light and the Afterglow. And the same exact modules will be used for both of the weapons. So you can see right here, and then we'll start off with the Piercing Light. Pop that V, so make sure we're gonna crit. And it's 3 point something for the Piercing Light. And this one's for the Afterglow. 2.75. 500k difference in damage, but I don't know if it's worth it for you guys, but if you have a fully built Afterglow sword, then just go for that one. Because regardless of the weapon, if you're trying to kill bosses like Executioner all the way up to Swamp Walker, you're just gonna be killing them in 3 to like 7 bullets anyway. So yeah, so just stick with the one that you have, so you don't spend any more resources. So next up are the weapon modules, and I feel like I've been talking too much in this video, so we're just gonna do this real quick. So let's start with the Holy Trinity of Crit. Will be better insight, better concentration, and concentration priority, and rifling, postman, and action and reaction for that extra firearm attack, weak point expansion, and focus fire for that extra weak point damage. And now we head over to the special mod. And there has been some debates regarding this one, but most people would tend to use weak point expansion because of that like extra burst of DPS on your first shot. But as for me, since we're just killing bosses in 3 to like 7 shots anyways, I like using special sight for that consistent DPS when it comes to group play. And for the last 2 slots in the weapon modules, whenever you're using Hailey's Z skill, and by default you get 4 shots, but you slot in expand weapon charge and a weapon tuning module, you can go all the way up to 7. As for the weapon substats, you're gonna want weak point damage, firearm attack, and firearm critical hit damage. We don't need that extra firearm critical hit rate because with the weapon modules that we're using, whenever we are using Hailey's V skill, once we go all the way up to 16 sacks, our firearm critical hit rate maxes out at 100%. And as for the piercing light 4th weapon substat, people have been saying that you want the rounds per magazine at 12%, because apparently if you have that, like the maximum roll 12%, you can get an extra shot on your on Hailey's Z skill, so it's gonna bring you up to 8 shots. So yeah, playing Hailey is simple. If not, it's overly simplified because she's so broken at the moment, and I expect that she'll be nerfed in the future. But yeah, so all you need to do is like for the boss fight, up your V skill and get to optimal range, and then start shooting at the boss, and that's it. You go pyro in 3 shots. So there you have it. This is my version of the Hailey build that everybody's been using. I mean, it's a lot similar to every other build out there, but the next part of the video I'm going to show you something different. So while other people think that Storm Snare or Zenith is like the most OP skill of Hailey, but for me, her most broken skill is the Cold Fury. This skill allows you to go all the way up to 100% crit rate on your weapons and your skill crit rate. And the next part of the video, I will be showing you a pure gunplay fight between me and Gluttony. And yeah, so I haven't finished the build yet for the Descendant. I haven't finished Hailey's build yet for her modules for this type of gameplay, but here's the modules that I use for the Greg's reverse weight for the entire duration of the fight. And so yeah, so if you think that this video has helped you, or if you like my content, any questions or like suggestions or violent reactions, you can leave a comment down below. And so yeah, so please, if you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks guys, have a good day.